right? Everything I say is my opinion only and is simply for the sake of conversation and education, made specifically for YouTube. And sometimes YouTube is known as an entertainment platform. So I always like to cover that. And 100% gut instinct, Dilly Owens. That is super awesome that you're saying that. So I'm going to ask you guys if the lighting and the sound are okay. I think I'm going to get something a friend of mine told me about yesterday called box lighting. That's more like a diffused light. And also, he's kind of an expert in electronics. He also said to get just a cheap microphone, like $40 should do it. And it takes the edge off of your S's and T's. And I think that might be good for all of us, right? To take the edges off of my S's and T's. So yeah, I really like that you said that, Dilly Owens. 100% gut instinct. It's all we have. It's all we have. And I'm going to address some things that I've been addressing over the weeks that might be in question now with the recent developments. But I trust my gut. I trust my instinct. And if I'm wrong, I am not kidding you. There are times where I love being wrong. Like, I am so relieved to be wrong. Okay? Like, I don't feel the need to be right. Of course, it's nice to be right. There's that feeling of vindication and I told you so. But I would rather be wrong. I would rather be dead wrong in some situations. And like I've said again and again, the situation with my suspicion of the ex-boyfriend, I hope that I'm incorrect. I hope that the dude is 100% innocent. But I've never gotten that feeling. Still, I don't have that feeling. And like I said, maybe I'm wrong. I never see your lighting to the point where you need to work on it. Your lighting is fine. It's too much to worry about. Carry on. Oh, I love one of the comments somebody made recently where they said, "What? You have lighting?" I'm only listening. I never watch it. I thought that was the cutest, right? So, as you know, I've been critical of the police chief, and it's okay for my um, commenters, my viewers, to be critical of me for that. I appreciate that. You know, we all are different. However, I'm a little freaked out right now about the nodding, the smiling. Still, I watched the most recent interview with him. I think it was on News Nation. And I thought, okay, you know, clean slate, just kind of resetting everything. And he didn't address the nodding. He addressed the smiling. He said, "I'm just such a happy person. I smile a lot. It's natural." Okay, I'm a really happy person too. And I smile a lot. And I also sometimes don't smile. Sometimes I remind myself to smile, but there's certain things when you're talking about them, you don't smile. Like grisly things. You don't smile when you're talking about that, period. I mean, that's just, you know, I give exceptions to like the nervous smile, the nervous laughter, because we all have our anxieties. And nothing is 100%. Nothing is black and white. I can't reiterate that enough. Real life happens in the shades of gray. So even if something is way off, it might just be a fluke, right? Might be an anomaly. Dilly Owen said, "Did you ever see the video of that Brian the murderer?" I'm not sure which video, Dilly Owens. But I I'm not trying to criticize you or any of us, but I do think we need to be very, very careful about the accusation. So this guy that was arrested, Brian, is the accused. He's the alleged murderer. I think we need to be very careful of that. So, one of the first things I wanted to talk about was the fact that the police chief had basically ordered for the department to hire, or maybe he hired himself. Anyway, they hired a professional hazmat team, right? And like I said, that's really expensive, and that usually comes out of the pocket of the civilians, not law enforcement. Sorry, my phone's going off. I I can't. What? Okay. So, sorry, I've got kids. It's New Year's Eve. It's craziness. And then my brain derails. So what was I saying about let me just read a couple of your comments and I'll get back on track, I promise. um have you read any of his creepy crime survey questions yet? Oh yes, lucky later. I got a hold of those right away and they are creepy. I was saying I'm on the edge of a bedtime LOL. So so yeah, this dude that was arrested is super creepy. I will give that. That's kind of a no-brainer. He's super creepy. Um, he's the accused, he's the alleged murderer. Um, it's not looking good for him, but he is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So I know what I was talking about. I was talking about the hazmat team going in there and cleaning up. And I thought that's really odd that the police chief is the one doing that, like orchestrating that. Like that's the responsibility of the homeowners or the renters usually. So I thought, well, maybe because it's a high profile case and maybe because it's just so grisly. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not an expert. I don't know. But I thought it was odd. And then I heard yesterday that as soon as they got there, they were told there was a cease and desist order by a judge in Moscow and they shut it down. And I didn't really hear anybody talking about that. So I was like, is that actually what happened or did I hear that? I knew I heard it more than once. And like I say, when I don't cite my sources, it's usually because it's News Nation or something like that that I figure is going to be pretty accurate. And if they're not accurate, they're going to tell me that the next day or something. So I was kind of waiting. I was waiting to see what other people said because I thought it was interesting. So in the interview with the police chief today that was on News Nation, they addressed that. And he said that, yeah, he got everything going and then the judge had a cease and desist order. So he was happy to shut it down. Like as soon as the trucks got in there, they packed up and went away, and I thought, that's really smart on the judge's part because this guy was arrested yesterday morning, right? I don't even know if he has legal counsel yet. The defense has to have an opportunity to go into the crime scene for their case. Had they removed the entire crime scene and scrubbed it clean, the whole case could have been dismissed, people. In the courts, and I've worked with a lot of judges and lawyers and lawsuits and civil cases and family court. And, I know people and I talk to people and I've been around this sort of thing. I think that case could have been thrown out if the defense attorney didn't have an opportunity to see the crime scene before it got completely scrubbed. And I'm just like, that was a close call. That was a close call. If this guy is guilty, if this case were to get thrown out like that, that would be insane. Absolutely horrid, horrible. Anyway, let me read a few of your things here. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year, Squirrely Burger. That Facebook video he put out last October on Facebook is horrifying. Zav Girl has it. So I mentioned to you guys earlier that I haven't been on the internet as much with the holiday and family stuff. And quite honestly, I feel like I need a break. Like this case is such, and there's so much information and it's so explosive. And I just feel like I need to calm down. Like I need to chill. I want to wait and see what happens. So I haven't seen the Zav girl yet. She's always on it, and I'm looking forward to catching up with some of this stuff. But honestly, some of it, I am really needing to take a step back. And that's why I wanted to come on tonight and earlier today is really just to touch base with my viewers and to talk about how we are experiencing this, because it is traumatic. And yes, we want justice for the victims. We want justice for the families. We want things to get rectified. I mean, how do you rectify after a situation like that? There's nothing that is ever going to bring these families closure. It's really not. Oh, thank you, Miles. Good catch on the hazmat sloppage. That's like I said, it is that stoppage. Yeah, see my glasses. Good catch on the hazmat stoppage. You know, it is nice to be right. I will not deny that. Just like it's nice to have people's approval. It's nice to be on top of things. But in situations like when I think that an ex-boyfriend looks guilty, I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that an ex-boyfriend would never, ever, ever do anything like that. Ever. Honestly, I would much rather be wrong than be correct. So I just can't state that strongly enough. Dilly Owen says, maybe this little bit of justice is bringing our batting average up. Glad for that. We'll see. Right. We don't know if this is justice yet. We really don't. I mean, closure needs to be removed from when people lose a loved one. There is no closure. You just learn to live with it. Very well said, Crown Royal. And right, getting justice is extremely important. Learning how to manage with that reality is, I think, much more accurate. Happy New Year's to you and your family, this new 2023. Blessings to all. I'm hoping 2023 is going to be a much brighter and safer year, worldwide, nationwide. I mean, this situation is just, it just cuts straight to the core for me. Sorry, late at store. So yeah, let's see. I just wanted to highlight something like this one. This new one from Grey Nicole is perfect with all the cute, bright, colorful party things. So happy New Year's to everybody. So let's see. What I wrote down here is, when it comes to people being dark, I would rather be incorrect. I would rather be in left field than to be accurate with some of the horrible, horrible stuff that people do. Or, you know, I mean, obviously somebody did this. We don't know who and we don't know why. Don't know. Happy New Year's to me. Joined your channel, the first channel I ever joined, a week and a half after you started it. And this is my definitely home base and my favorite. Oh, Dilly, that is so sweet. I'm so happy that I read that. Thank you for writing it. I'm so happy that I caught it. And Barbara says, love you, Jazz. Well, I love you guys. I really do. You know, I never did drugs, but I had friends that did. They were usually satisfied with just putting stuff into them, much less planning out a murder. They were just looking for the next high. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a really good point. Yeah, being a drug addict certainly doesn't make somebody a murderer. What worries me the most is when somebody has a history of drug abuse, and even if they are clean, is that if somebody wants to kill them, it's really easy to kill them and then say, oh, look, they must have overdosed. They must have relapsed because, you know, they were a junkie once. And look, there's a whole bunch of heroin in their system. So it would be really easy to murder somebody and make it look like an overdose, an intentional or an accidental overdose, if that person has ever been a drug addict. Like, that's something that concerns me a lot for people that are in recovery, is like, they're vulnerable to that, in my opinion. So, and people don't question it. People go, oh, right, they were a heroin addict once. So even though they haven't been for decades, right, got it. You know, nobody questions it because people just kind of put junkies into a garbage pile that is really unkind and unfair, in my opinion. Just saying. I've done just about everything. Thankfully, my boundary always ended at heroin simply because of junkie potential status. Again, I'm bogey, but thankful and alive. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I have a friend who died of a heroin overdose the first time she tried it. I have another friend who tried heroin and shared that information with me. He had tried it more than once, but he was really scared to let people know because he knew people would judge him, even though he'd only done it a couple of times. He was just like, please don't tell anybody. It was like a big secret. And I think that's wise. It's not something you want to share with people. Hope they have a good prosecutors that bring an A game. Brian probably is sharp, hence his degree in criminal justice. Well, so did I already say this? He's excited to get back to Idaho. I don't think I said this yet. He's excited to get back to Idaho. He's not fighting the extradition because he's excited to be exonerated, is what he stated when he waived his right to an extradition hearing today, I think, maybe yesterday. I think it was the police chief that was speaking on it today, because like I said, I haven't watched a lot of coverage. It really got me thinking. He's excited to get back to Idaho so that he can be exonerated. Like, yeah, that might be a crock, right? That could just be a load of crap, 100%, 200%. But it gave me pause. Like, okay, let's see. I mean, the fact that he drives a white Elantra puts him in a category with probably 500,000 other people in our country, right? I mean, I don't know. The 22,000 white Elantras from just the make and model of 2011 to 2013. I don't know that 22,000 number, where they got that. I don't know if that was just that make and that model in Washington State and Idaho. I don't know if that's nationwide, but we know that they're extremely common, and that police, until now, until busting this guy, they never said they were 100% sure it was a Hyundai Elantra. They said that they were 100% sure, basically, that it looked just like a Hyundai Elantra, but that it could be a different car. That they thought it was a 2012, give or take a year, but they weren't sure. So the fact that he drives a Hyundai Elantra in that time frame from a model of 2011 to 2013 doesn't make him guilty. He's one of thousands of people. Probably not so many thousands that live in that area in Pullman or Moscow, but we don't know his time frame. We don't know when he drove cross country. We don't know how long he's been there. There's just so much we don't know. Let's see. Barbara, thank you, saying you're right on level. Like, I mean, it is nice to be validated. It's nice to have people agree with you, but it is also fine to, if I feel like I'm being truthful to myself, it's fine for me to be sticking my neck out all by myself and have people question me. I don't like it, but that's just part of life. I mean, I've had that happen often, where I've been critical of things that I didn't like being critical of, and people thought that I was being mean. And then lo and behold, it turned out to be accurate. And then people would come to me and say, oh, well, doesn't that feel great that you were right? And I'd be like, no, I'm horrified that I was right. I really wanted to be wrong. Not kidding. Not kidding. Some of the most creative people have been on drugs while making masterpieces. It is true. It is true. David Byrne is an artist that I really like, who has admitted to being on a lot of cocaine when he made some of his greatest music. If you guys know David Byrne from the Talking Heads. I agree with what you are saying about lumping former drug users into a category. So many musicians right? I mean, that have died of heroin overdoses or that have suffered from heroin addiction. I mean, so many of the best ones. Erica Gray says, I do it. Here, here. I agree with you that you were saying about lumping former drug users into a category. I do it. Oh, so I thought you meant that you do the drugs. You're saying that you do it too. And I do it too. Like I had to catch myself with this guy today. I was like, wait, just because he was a junkie maybe in high school and that's crazy, it doesn't mean that he is the guilty party. I still have my same suspicions of the people that I've been suspicious of all along. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I don't mean to keep bringing up that video, but I'm pretty sure that the guy in that video had to have helped him. Oh, okay, Dilly Owens, please go ahead and tell me what video that is, because I'm thinking that there's just no way some rando did this without help. You know, I just can't buy it. The whole thing with the dog, the whole thing about knowing the inside of the house, all of it. Like, I could barely believe that somebody who knew the house and knew the dog and had a huge amount of passion and upset, I could barely believe that they might be able to do it alone. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely don't trust that. I've watched people, sorry, let's see. I've watched people do heroin. I was offered several times, but never did it. Are they here already?
Yeah. Is this too big?
That's fine. That's perfect. Okay. Love you, honey. Have fun. Sorry, you guys. One sec. One of my kids is going out with her friends. I didn't think they'd be here for another 15 minutes. So big distraction. Let's see. I've watched people do heroin. I was offered several times, but never did it. Common Car, you are a smart woman. Have you ever considered, wait, what? It jumped, sorry. Have you ever considered the psychops theory? I am definitely considering the psychops theory. Absolutely. Bye, sweetie. Have a fun time. Be safe. I'll come pick you up.
No.
Okay. Sorry, you guys. Real life, right? It's not a problem. Smart woman, have you ever considered the psychop theory? I'm not sure which psychop theory you might be referring to with this case. There was certainly a lot of psychop theory going on in the Kylie Rodney case. And personally, my background is in psychotherapy, and I see a lot of psychop type of stuff going on in this case. So Erica, I'd be really curious if you want to be more specific about what you're talking about with that psychop theory. Here, I didn't tag that. Let me go ahead and tag it and then get to the next one. Barbara, I wonder what his plans are. Something to expose, quick slip that need reported. It was a Kia instead. What? Yeah, I mean, all different makes and models look so much like that car. I think every brand of car has a car that looks like a Hyundai Elantra. Yeah, I can't really tell them apart, and I'm pretty good at knowing my cars. Nicole Gray says, me too lucky, buried a friend in college during graduation week and was so grateful I was done in Morgantown. Circa 1998. Can't find it now. Only 9 likes. So yes, please hit the like button if you'd be so kind. Like, share, subscribe. Those things are super helpful. Van Gogh to Kale De Pena says, was Van Gogh a junkie? I did not know that. I haven't really studied Van Gogh as much as I love his art, and he was definitely a tragic figure. But yeah, I know True Crime Rocket Science has done a bunch of podcasts on Van Gogh, I think looking at the possibility that he was actually murdered. So I don't know. I haven't really watched those series. True Crime Rocket Science did a fantastic job with the Meredith Kircher case, really looking deep into that whole tragedy in Italy with Amanda Knox and the boyfriend and all of that. The guy Rudy, who was like convicted of being the most guilty, and then Amanda Knox was convicted, and the ex-boyfriend Sergio was convicted. Rudy just got released from his 15 or 20-year sentence just in the last year. So, he could talk, he could write a book, and you just don't know. I mean, that whole case was so convoluted, what we got here in America, because CNN paid for Amanda Knox's attorney and all of her family's traveling expenses. What does that tell you? I'll just leave that there because we're not talking about that case right now, but you reminded me of Van Gogh and True Crime Rocket Science. That's how I got into his channel. He's done some really good deep diving into the Meredith Kircher case. It's so tragic. And he's written some books on it too, I think. I like your channel and you, but have to get off YouTube and concentrate on my Bible and praying. I've been watching YouTube and neglecting my Father God. We're in end times, love through Jesus. Oh, that is, thank you for the compliment. And yes, definitely, you don't want to be neglecting anything that you feel like you're neglecting, especially that, in my opinion. Look up drug users, musicians, and the federal prisons in Kentucky. I can only guess. Yeah. Yeah, Kentucky can have a lot of roughness in it. I can't get the guy's face out of my head. On that video, you saw him. You never saw Brian. The video of the killer, the alleged killer, there, I just had to catch myself. Video of the accused killer, his face is super spooky. I mean, he definitely has a lot of resemblance, in my opinion, to Ted Bundy. He's got the crazy Charles Manson eyes. He's creepy looking. That doesn't make him guilty, but it definitely makes him look guilty, in my opinion. So, isn't it past your bedtime? LOL, past mine. I was trying to watch Brits from yesterday. It is getting close to my bedtime. Yes, it's almost 9. I'm definitely winding down, which is why I came on when I did. Plus, I want to be on those other shows later, but I just thought if it gets any later, my brain is going to be toast. So yeah, I love being in other people's chats. It's hard to be a guest on a panel, simply because I get tired. My brain shuts down. If you've ever seen me on a panel when they're late at night, which they almost always are, I'm almost like a different person just because I'm less filtered, shall we say. And then infamously, I, 2 a.m, made a comment on Squirrels on Fire to a certain somebody, I won't name any names, who was, it was with the Kylie Rodney case. And I'll just go ahead and say, so I'm not being so evasive, her initials are MC. And, people were just putting up with her talking in circles, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I was so tired, and I just got blunt. And I felt bad because she started to cry and ran away, got off the channel, and I thought, oh gee, was I really that harsh? And I watched it the next day a whole bunch of times thinking, yikes, was I so mean? And I don't think I was. I think I was very reasonable. A lot of people told me I was very reasonable, but I was like, well, she was upset. But then we worked it out, I thought, but then she went all nuts on me on some other panel, which is fine. I can just stay away from people when I need to stay away from people. But my point was that it was 2:15 in the morning. I'd been on that panel with her and a bunch of other people for 4 hours, and I just couldn't take it anymore. My filter was just gone. And so I'm not usually going to be rude to somebody, because to me, it's really important to be kind, even if it's an awkward confrontation, to still do it with kindness. That's important. So, let's see. I can't. Okay. Thank you, Fred, for telling me I need to go to bed now. Yeah. I know. I'm, I like to just say I'm an old lady. Um, it was October and I can't watch it no more because I cannot watch it another time. It literally makes me so sick to my stomach. Oh, you're talking about Brian's thing that he did in October. I'll have to check that out. Happy New Year, Sherry Urban. Sorry. Katie Bug dropping in to say, love you all. Happy New Year. I'll highlight that with all the lovely hearts. Lots of love to you guys. Lots of love for finishing out 2022 and for getting started in our new year. And hopefully we can keep making our own lives better and making life better for those around us too. And even for our internet friends and such. I know we get to check on our babies tonight. I done checked on all mine. Ain't there details online, re the house as it's rented out? So Great White, the house is not going to be cleaned out or rented out. It's going to be preserved right now for the time being due to a court order from a judge in Moscow yesterday, when there was a hazmat crew ready to do some real deep cleaning in the house, and the judge said absolutely not. You need to cease and desist and let the justice play out. So news reported, what was that? um News reported IKEA. Huh? Okay, Barbara, interesting. I'm very, very fascinated with what you're talking about there. It is called FMC now. This is the facility where they tested drugs on inmates. Oh, you're talking about the Kentucky thing. Before that, it was for musicians, etc. Huge psych ops. Okay, so I might be crossing my wires. Maybe you're talking about the Kentucky thing, but I hear what you're saying about the psych ops. There was a movie called Jacob's Ladder with Tim Robbins that was about psych ops in the military in Vietnam, with a lot of the testing that was allegedly done on the soldiers with LSD, I think. It's a creepy movie. Most people have seen it. It got rave reviews. Yeah. Kiki Ray says, but there are definitely a lot of psych ops going on in general. And just, you would think that people wouldn't be able to get away with murder anymore with there being so much videotape and audio tape and, digital evidence. But what we're seeing is people getting away with murder. So I don't know. One of the things that has me really concerned, I'll say it again, I've said it a couple of times previously, is that the day before yesterday, it was getting determined that it was actually Jack D sitting in the back of the bar, speaking with Maddie and speaking with Kaylee at 1:32 in the morning of Sunday, November 13th. It was determined that that was Jack D, I believe. And then the very next day, they arrest this guy. Like, that just doesn't even matter. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't mean that anybody's guilty if they're at the bar with the girls at 1:32 in the morning. But what's very, very concerning is that that information was suppressed or lied about, if it is indeed him, right? I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think it's him? I've heard it be definitive that it actually was him. And then within 24 hours, this other guy is arrested and he's off the hook. And we still don't know who the guy is that was standing by the back door with the smeared face in that still shot from the surveillance camera. Anyway, let me try to get caught up. There are definitely a lot of psych ops going on in general, right? And I'm wondering, is his nose got broken while doing this in the graduation video? It doesn't look to be broke. Right. But remember, this all happened like 7 weeks ago, right? 7 weeks ago tonight. So if your nose got broke, I would think in 7 weeks it would be fine. I don't know. I haven't had a broken nose, and I'm sure some of you guys have. So I don't know. I mean, it definitely looks like one of his eyes is black. So, and his nose is insanely crooked. So who knows? Who knows? I mean, maybe it got broken more recently with some other fight that he got in or something. The psych op is deep in this case and connects to the Rodney case. You will have to message me somehow. Okay, Erica Gray. So my email address is justiceatooz@gmail.com. And I have wondered that myself. I mean, obviously the psych op was crazy with the Kylie Rodney case, and especially with the whole fire cam video. And as soon as this photograph, this still shot of the bar scene at 1:32 a.m. came out, I started to feel like, is this our fire cam video of this case? Like, what is this? Like, who leaked this? Where did this come from? Why is it coming out now? And then why is somebody getting arrested kind of out of the blue from the public eye immediately once it's determined that that is Jack D in that photograph? That's got me going all kinds of sideways. Okay. Psych op, Mandela. Avoid ice. He got into boxing. Maybe what happened to his nose. Yeah. And people were talking about him and his kickboxing, that was like a bad thing, like an anger thing. And I've done kickboxing and it's really fun. It's really like a martial art. It's really not about hurting anybody, or, I mean, I've never felt like I was doing anything with anger or aggression in kickboxing. It felt more like yoga, meditation. Um, it's cool. I love it. So I don't think that kickboxing necessarily has any anger involved in it, but that's just my experience. So, Gray Nicole says total junkie. Erica Gray Nicole and Erica Gray, that's funny. They were all drunks and druggies, but in the genre of experimental with drugs. And Fred Field, maybe the girls put the dog in the spare room before they went to bed due to them sharing a bed, and it would be too crowded with the dog too. Neighbor shooting fireworks already. Kia, Hyundai, same manufacturer. Yes. Yes. One of my mods said maybe the dog had gas and was like stinking up the place that night, and they put the dog in the other room, which I thought was hilarious. We don't know. We weren't there. Sorry, y'all. I'm fickle. Pam is on, and I need some non-crime mojo. Happy New Year's to you all. Not a problem at all. Thanks for coming. Happy New Year. And I'm not sure, Erica Gray, the absinthe. I can't even remember what that is. If you want to explain. It's a hard word to say too. I was going to just skip right over it. And then I was like, wait, no. Okay. I heard November 13th was Manson's birthday. Right, Barbara. I heard that too. And kind of I heard it in the context of more evidence that it was this guy. It's like, well, that's not evidence that it was anything. That could be a coincidence. I mean, not that there's ever a coincidence in a homicide, right? Never. Synchronicity is what you call it. I live in Kentucky, Erica Gray says. Happy New Year, Black Hella. And let's see, let me try and find the old video of the prison. Not Mandala, but rather MK Ultra stuff. Oh, did your spell check make it say Mandala when you were trying to say MK Ultra? Erica Gray, justiceatooz@gmail.com. Thank you, Kale, for putting that in there, my email address. Kylie Rodney, look up Placer County Special Investigations Unit. Interesting. No, Fred, it's New Year's Eve. 3 more hours. Oh my God, this dang thing won't give me notifications again. Phantasmic Ether. I don't know what to do about that. I am convinced that my channel was like shadow banned for whatever reasons. And so I don't know if that's why it doesn't give notifications or if there's some other reason. I have no idea. Jacob's Ladder is wild. Yes, Phantasmic Ether. Thank you for saying that. And Tim Robbins is the star of Jacob's Ladder. He's one of my favorite actors. He's fantastic. People seem really paranoid in that gang. And I'm not sure, Avoid Ice 2, which gang you are referring to. Okay. So let me try to get caught up here. Just going to highlight that one that I just read out loud. The people seem really paranoid in that gang. Phantasmic Ether Good, though, did an editing project with it in college. I love the way editing project is all one word. Did an editing project with what in college? Jacob's Ladder. Oh, an editing project with Jacob's Ladder in college. Is that what you're saying, Phantasmic Ether? That sounds pretty interesting. So at first glance, that is shocking. Okay. Kale is responding to Erica Gray about looking up the Kylie Rodney thing in Placer County. Had I highlighted that one? Yeah, where it is, right there. Look up Placer County Special Investigations Unit. I'm going to highlight that for just a second. And then try to get caught up here. I'm almost caught up. I'm so close. Dilly Owens, if nothing else, we need to spread the face of that dude in the October Facebook video. And I'm thinking that that's the accused, right? I'll have to check that out. It sounds pretty bad. Yes, that is looking like a once broken nose, in my humble opinion. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that photograph with the real crooked nose and what looks like a black eye, isn't that one of the like mug shots in jail just from the last 24 hours? Modern art was actually a CIA psyops to basically reinforce the average citizens, us or US, that we need experts and authority to tell us what to think, etc. Right. Absolutely. That's a really good comment. I'm going to place the pinned message. Thanks for taking the time to spend with us on New Year's Eve. We love it. We love you. Well, thank you, and you're welcome, Dilly Owens, and everyone who's here. I really appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for joining me. Let's start to think about wrapping up because we're getting to 50 minutes, and we're getting to the time of these other planned New Year's Eve events, shows. So let's see, where are we? Cosmetic. Either I didn't even see you on here. Hey, it's Dilly. And something is afoot right when Jack's alibi becomes questionable, even more so the timing. And the timing with the holiday. Like, I mean, I thought, wouldn't it be nice if there was an arrest in time for Christmas for these families to just take a deep breath and relax for a minute and feel like there was some sense of security that things were going to go towards justice. And then as Christmas came and went, I thought, well, yeah, I'm just dreaming. I'm just fantasizing. That's just a pipe dream pie in the sky. And then all of a sudden, boom, before New Year's. So I don't know. Like, why would there be a motivation to wrap it up before New Year's? Would there be like a political motivation? Would there be, because school's going to restart at the university in Moscow this next week? I mean, most of the schools where I'm at in Ohio will be starting this Wednesday, I think. I think that's the colleges and the like intermediate schools. But could that be it? That they're trying to say, look, we got the bad guy under control. Everything's safe. You guys can all go back to school. Could that be it? I guess it could be. I'm thinking that's a possibility. What do you guys think? What in the world? Oh, that would be really disgusting. Okay, so Barbara, thank you. You just got my brain, got my Gears moving. Something is afoot right when Jack's alibi becomes questionable, even more so. The timing. Timing is everything, especially in a homicide investigation. Timing is everything. No notification, Tiffany Crockett. I'm so sorry. I wish I could fix it. Fred Field says, I'm fading fast. Just read notification as from Chuckles of Olivia rather than Chronicles. That's funny. That is hilarious. Editing project like Atom. I gotta highlight that one. That's too cute. Mega Princess Elsa. Hi there. Princess Megan Elsa. Now, is that like a play on the whole Kylie Rodney case? Princess Megan Elsa? I don't know. That's kind of a funny name. How are you? And Alistair Grant, it's 2:04 in Scotland. So happy New Year's to all. Let's see what this year brings. Happy New Year, Alistair Grant. So yeah, let's get wrapped up here. I'm all caught up. How did that happen? Dilly Owens says, let us all gather, let us all share the love, and let us all continue to try to bring justice for all. Was Squirrels on Fire last night chatting with Megan C? I think so. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I know she had been planning on doing like a compilation for a while. And it sounded like from a comment somebody made in my earlier live that was dropped. So that's cool. So you guys, thank you so much for coming out and playing. Let me just look over my notes real quick because I'm sure there's something on here that I did not include. So yes. So I spoke about the smiling and the nodding that James Fry is still doing. The nodding is less, but the smiling is still just as much. And he's still nodding. It's just that it's less pronounced. Like I'm wondering if he's gotten self-conscious about it. But he can't stop doing it. I don't think it's a nervous tick. It's probably a habit. But that damn, what Harsh calls the Cheshire cat look on the face, and I call the cat who ate the canary look on the face. He's looking very pleased with himself, very vindicated. Like, yeah, I told you so. Like, yeah, I'm the man. I got this all under control. And that creeps me out because this is not about him. It's not about his ego. It's not about him being right. It's not about his authority. This is about 4 college kids whose lives were taken. It's about 4 families whose lives will never be the same. It's about a horrible, horrible tragedy. And I did not like that smug look on his face. And I just thought, my goodness, here I am trying to be not critical of this guy. And he's just given me more reason to be critical of him. Smug. Like, who's going to be smug in these circumstances? Give me a break. Like, good that somebody is arrested. And hopefully this is the right person that's arrested. But smug? That's got no place here. That's got absolutely no place here. That's really upsetting. Good evening and Happy New Year. Erica Gray says, I'm back. It ended as screaming at each other. Ref MC. Oh, was it? I thought it was just going to be a compilation. Was it something new? Was it like a new recording or a new live or something? I don't know. I just steer clear of some things, live and learn. That's probably part of it. Thanks for the intro, Erica Gray, Princess Megan Elsa. Then look into the Operation Bear Trap. Please remember to like, the mod says, who is being discussed sees afar. I was just talking about the police chief again, and I apologize if that offends anybody, but I feel the need to call him out for looking so smug in his interview today. Like, there's no place for smugness. We've got tragedy and we're trying to get resolution and justice and resolve. There's no place for smugness from anybody, especially him. That's unprofessional. That is super unprofessional, in my humble opinion. Please don't believe the hype. And that's a good one. I like the uh, like the line, Mr. Happiness, Caesar Farr, you are too funny. And, again, like, I'm just going to go ahead and be critical because I think that I need to be. He's in this interview justifying smiliness with that he's a happy person. It's like, well, good that you're a happy person. But when you're in a position like police chief, that's not a real happy job. You're dealing with a lot of tragedy, a lot of stress, acrimonious everything every day. Like, good that you're a happy person because it's a tough job, but it's like, wipe that smile off your face, wipe that smirk off your face. I mean, if you've got something to be happy about, then great. Or if you're smiling nervously, I have no trouble extending room for that. But don't be smug and don't be happy, joy when we're talking about 4 young adults taken out in the prime of their lives and their families completely flipping upside down. And then maybe there's a beginning of a pathway to justice here. There's no room for being smug. Oh, MC was invited to the panel, so this was a new panel yesterday. Okay. Fred Field, I thought they had quit letting her in for that reason. Odd. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Happy New Year to all. He appears very stressed and was masking it with that stupid grin. That's a very interesting perspective, Caesar. I would agree. Yeah, he was very happy and relaxed about the judge issuing the cease and desist order. Like, he acted like it was no big deal. When, I'm sorry, that is a big deal. That was a big deal that you made a huge faux pas. And thank goodness the judge got there in the nick of time. That's unbelievable. Yeah, that's freaking bad. That is horrible. If he blew this case with something that stupid, whoa. Then you got to think, is he trying to be a buffoon? The incompetence and the corruption. They will try to cover their incompetence with their corruption. And then the whole, like, acting like an oaf, acting like a buffoon, instead of just, I mean, obviously they're not going to admit that they're corrupt, right? Stupid. Oh, we didn't know not to the crime scene. It's your job to know. He could get sued for that. He could seriously get sued for that. And maybe the family attorneys are looking at that, because he needs to get it together. He can't be messing around. He appeared very stressed. Okay, I highlighted that one. Okay, let's get ready to sign off, you guys. Happy New Year's with movie with Sarah Jessica Parker. It's a great movie for New Year's. Sarah Jessica Parker is a great actress, is she not? And her husband, Matthew Broderick, I like him a lot too. I adore your criticisms. Thank you, Erica. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I feel the need to keep it real, seriously. So thank you for the, appreciating that, because I just think it's important for all of us to be upfront and to trust our instincts. Before we go, smash that like, friends. Shan was trying to get a middle ground with MC and agree to disagree. Live and let live. Yeah, well, to each their own, right? I love Shan. Shanda, I think she's awesome. You say the things that other channels don't have the guts to say. Oh, that's a nice thing to say, Erica. That's really nice. I mean, I feel like I am keeping it real. Sometimes I'm shooting from the hip, but I try not to. I try to be organized and know what I'm going to say. And I really honestly never know until we're doing this. But I do try to have a handle on it to some extent because I don't want to just go cray cray. Um, he hates us, internet detectives, lol. Barbara, you're funny. And if that's what we are, but yeah, they talk about us just a little too much. It's like, why do you even care? Why do you even care? Focus on the corruption, not on the perp. The Peter principle, rise to the highest level of incompetence, sees afar. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah. Hello. It looked like they started cleaning up already. So Rona Jane, they started the big cleanup. Was that this morning? Now I'm like all of a sudden in a daze. Was it yesterday morning? I think it was this morning. Um, or was it yesterday? Yesterday was Friday. Maybe it was yesterday. And then they were talking about it today. So yeah, the cease and desist. It was Friday. Friday morning. They went out there with the big professional hazmat truck and crew. And then a judge in Moscow ordered a cease and desist immediately. And so they didn't really get anything done. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Remember Zanime? No, don't even say it. Yeah, I love the honesty. Well, that's what I am all about. That's what I am trying to do. And, I love that you guys keep me grounded, keep me in check. I don't want to be rude to anybody. I don't want to be mean to anybody. I'm just trying to get to the truth. And, we all have our own individual truths. What else do we have? Exactly. So happy new year, you guys. We're just over an hour. So yeah, let's sign out. Let's do our little mantra or meditation. We are all going to take the best care of ourselves this year, right? We're going to have all of our New Year's resolutions to stay hydrated. I'm all out of water, but don't you love this glass? And I had one drop left. So I'll refill my water as soon as we're done. We are going to stay hydrated. We're going to stay well in good nutrients. Like words are escaping my brain. We're going to stay well fed, well nourished. There's the proper time to sign off, right? We're going to stay well hydrated, well nourished. We are going to continue to take great care of ourselves emotionally, physically, and get exercise, get our rest, be nice to ourselves, be nice to other people, not tolerate anybody being unkind or disrespectful, right? That's just not okay. We are going to be kind and respectful, and we are not going to hang out with people who are not kind or don't respect us because that's just a shit show. We don't need that. Okay. So thanks, you guys. What is it, Caleb Lee? Not sure what you guys. Oh my God, you're a yogi too. I swoon. I'd like to do yoga. I do. I love it. Police chief basically said that he is guilty already. And I think we've been really quick to buy that. And that's honestly, that's un-American. It is our American justice system is built on innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So, yeah, I'm going to try really hard just to keep it in check. Resolve to live well, love, and laugh. And all our doshas aligned. Cheers, be kind, stay balanced. Kale says no. Remember, presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Right, precisely. I'm going to highlight that and then get signed off here, you guys. Thanks again and Happy New Year. Erica Gray's a yoga teacher. Awesome. Right on, you guys. See you next year. And yeah, Kale is waiting for an answer from Caleb Lee, but I'm going to go ahead and end stream and The comments continue for a minute, so I think 5 minutes to be exact. But anyway, you guys, happy new year. Thanks a million, and see you soon. Namaste.